I'm a little bit early. All right. Hey, Tuesday night live hanging. What is happening? Oh, here we go. What? Okay. So just give everyone a couple minutes to get here. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I almost forgot what day it is. And we do this every single Tuesday. Let's see. Okay, make sure the chat is up. Live chat. All messages are viewable. Hey, Steve. That's what I did wrong last time. Hey, Steve. Thanks for being here. Good to see you here. Oh, man. This tastes real good tonight. This one glass of wine I'm gonna have is tasting good. It's a really long week. I'll wait for some more people to get in here and kind of update you guys on like everything that's happened in the last week, but holy cow. I like these fun filters. It has been a week, let me tell ya. Really super hot here today. It's really interesting trying to keep the fucking temperature for the greenhouse like regulated and monitored and all that stuff, so that's been fun to do every day. But yeah, it's really freaking hot in LA, and I don't know why like I say that like I'm gonna surprise anybody. Oh, thank you. Yes, I did do a new avatar for Cooking Your Ash Off's page. I didn't like the little logo that I made before. I thought it looked a little silly. I don't want to say silly. A little young, a little childish. But it's really super simple. Like, I didn't even go to any logo maker or anything like that. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go to this this thing called Word Swag, and they have all these free pictures and stuff. So I literally just picked out a picture of I picked tomatoes because I think that's what I'm gonna have the most of out of my garden when everything starts growing. And so I have 3 different types of tomatoes, so that's pretty exciting. So anyway, pick that. I just put CYAO on there, and then on the highlights, I don't know if you noticed the highlights too, Steve, but there's like the C, the Y, the A, and the O, and there's just gonna be like 4 highlights or whatever. Just try to keep it simple and keep it together. So anyway, yeah, I did that today. It was, you know, I'm just trying to keep things simple on myself. I'm a one-man band with my iron and mini fires, so I'm trying to keep it easy. But yes, really freaking hot in the valley. Our pool does not work. Oh, thank you. Our pool does not work right now because, I don't know, I'm an idiot and I messed up the whole thing, and I was trying to fill it up all day and I didn't realize that Travis had left the cap out of it. It's just one of those like 10 by 4 whatever. It's just like a little pop-up pool. But he didn't realize he left the cap out of it, so I'm like looking outside like, why is this damn pool not filling up? Turns out I was watering the neighborhood. I'm surprised my neighbors didn't come say something. I think it went directly into their driveway. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we're living off of sprinklers and an air conditioner that barely keeps this old house cool, which I will say it's new ish. It like broke. I don't know if you guys have probably been with me for a while, but we've lived in this house for 5.5 years, and after 3 summers of just pretty much every summer not being able to get the thermostat down to like lower than 85 on 100-degree days, finally the air conditioner just, it literally, I've never seen anything like it. The hose froze over, so it was Freon all the way from the roof of the house down to the entire side of the air conditioner was just froze over with Freon. It just completely broke. So they replaced it with a much bigger unit, and that helps. But this house is still so old. It's like stucco with no insulation. It's a whole thing. So anyways, it's very hot here in the summer, and yeah, so you know, all the animals just lay around all day. We basically just lay around all day. We're trying so hard to do our best during these times to not lose our minds, that there's not a whole lot of like structure to most of our days. You know, I let the kids do what makes them happy. You know, we do things together. They have their own, you know, their own free time and like quiet time and things like that. So we're trucking along. we're trying. But yeah, good practice for Austin weather is pretty similar to California weather, I will say, but it feels cooler, I think, there because it's more humid. It's different. It's a different heat. Like when I first got to California, I was like, I can take a California summer. It's no big deal. Oklahoma gets to like 110s. And like on 80 or 90-degree days here, because it's so dry, I'm like, so hot, like dripping sweat. I don't know. Maybe I'm just accustomed to or conditioned for humidity, so humidity feels better for me. I don't know, but when I'm in Oklahoma, it's like comfortable. I'm like sitting there. It feels like I'm in a sauna or something. I don't know. But yeah, okay, so an update on Austin news is that, and I talked to my daughter's dad, because it really will depend a lot on his job, which this whole thing has completely changed. This is very personal, so I hope you know that I only talk to you guys and my close family about this. This is very personal. Nobody knows this, and nobody can know this. But he's very much 9 to 5 corporate world. Everything depends on work ethic and like money and all of that stuff. He's very much like that. He's never been like the free spirited, you know, just want to stay home and get my life together kind of person. Never. But this has changed him so much. I gotta take a drink. I was talking to him the other day, and before my daughter started school, I suggested to him homeschooling several times because I wasn't familiar with California school systems. Scared me to death because they're huge. You know, I just thought she could get a better education. I wouldn't have to worry about, and this sounds really drastic and dramatic, but it's a thing, and it's going to be even more of a thing, I think, after all this goes away. We're seeing a lot of mental health decline and things like that, and I'm scared for our kids to go back to school. I really am. But he was like, yeah, you know, he's like, I remember you tried to talk me into homeschooling. He's like, and seeing how much she got like hands-on education and how much she learned just in a short period instead of being in a classroom setting, the difference that it made her learning at home and the structure that we had created. He was like, I'm blown away. He's like, if, you know, we can talk about something later, you know, whatever. He's like, but I don't see them going back to school anytime soon, and they're not going to. I really, really would be shocked if they go back before January. And so, anyway, we had talked about, what are you looking for, babe? Huh? Oh. So we had talked about that. We talked about how this is, like, changing the structure of, like, and fantasy football. Travis said fantasy football. And how, like, going to work won't look the same. He said even if, you know, things go back to normal isn't going to be a 9 to 5 anymore. He works for a really big company, and other comparable companies have seen actually, and I don't know, Steve, if you can weigh in on this maybe a little bit with your expertise, but he said that a lot of like job efficiency and productivity and skill and just overall happiness and mood and morale has gone up tremendously from people working at home from his giant corporate office. They have Montreal, Montreal, LA, and they just opened a London office, and they had a New York office. They closed it down, so I was hoping to do an Austin office in lieu of the New York office. I don't know if I've ever gone into this much detail with you guys, but it's chatty Cathy time. So he's like, so with that being said, he's like, if I go back, it'll be a couple days a week. He's like, if at all. He's like, I might be able to just work remote, and that would be, you know, we moved to Austin. We don't have to get, because they were going to do a whole, I forget, like a whole team, like a whole staff of like everyone doing everything in-house, because right now they're outsourcing everything. And so anyway, I was like, I'm just listening to him. I'm blown away because this is not him at all. He's like, I don't know, because he was always traveling. Like, we were always switching days, or he was always gone. You know, he went to Europe like for almost a total of 3 months in the last like 16 months before everything shut down. Like, he was always gone. It wasn't just Europe. I mean, he was always going to Montreal, Colorado, a couple other places where, you know, he has clients and stuff. Always traveling. He's like, I'm not traveling anymore. Like, I don't need to, I don't want to, I'm not getting on a plane. I'm like, dude, like, welcome to the human experience. Like, whoa. So I'm like not talking, I'm just listening to him, and he's like, you don't seem very excited about any of this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm trying to process everything, because this is coming from a man who's like, if you don't, you know, your kids are homeschooled or this or that or this or that, they're gonna have a terrible time as an adult. And it's just like, I'm like, what? So Steve, you even, like, it was kind of like we predicted that, like, the essential people could still go, but if you're not essential, then you're working from home, and it's working out great for these people that are working from home. I mean, I'm working from home. I'm like, you know, I'm doing pretty well. I love working from home. I love everyone being here. Travis still goes to work, but his hours are shorter, but they're saying, like, you know, I don't really know what they're gonna do. I mean, he's a bank, so banks may have to do regular hours. I'm not really sure, but so that was last Monday, I think, that we had this big conversation about how Austin is very likely. Well, another part of the story is that one of his best friends who lives here, who is also in the same business, I think they're like partners, maybe it's his client, but they're also very good friends. They want to move there as well. Lots of money, like whatever. Well, my intel, which is my daughter, because I ask her every day, I'm like, I need you to eavesdrop, okay? I need you to find out everything. She's like, but their conversations are so boring. I'm like, I need it. Like, I need you to, hi Thomas, like, I need you to be my little eavesdropping spy. But she, like, and I'll ask her almost all the time, I'm like, has he said anything else about Austin? Has he said anything else about Austin? And this time, now we're eating ramen for lunch, and she goes, oh yeah, she goes, my dad said that because they had been talking about buying a boat, because they want to live on Lake Austin. Like, I don't really care to live on Lake Austin. Like, I'll visit, sure, fine, but I want, like, land, and I want to be away. And so, but his Austin experience would be much different than my Austin experience, or our, whatever. Anyway, so she's like, yeah, they got a boat. And I was like, here or there? And she's like, they got a boat there, and they'll get it. They picked the style that they want. They're gonna have it kind of built out, and it'll be ready in January. And I'm like, my mind is blown. So right now, it was like a 60-40 chance before, but now I'm thinking it's like a 75-25. I'm so excited. Anyways, okay, so that was my Austin spiel. So this week, oh my gosh, this week has been crazy. Last Thursday, Travis got in an accident. He's okay, everything's fine. This lady, he was trying to get over in the lane, and the lady, I guess, didn't see him, and he thought that she had, so he skipped over to the lane, and she hit him really hard. We just got brand new cars, like, in February, and so, yeah, so he got in that accident, and it wasn't that, like, she hit him pretty good, but it sucks because it was such an angle that, like, jammed his left wheel in a little bit, so it kind of, like, made it crooked on the drivetrain. And so he was driving home, and it was like, he had to kind of, it was like pulling, and I'm like, oh, it's probably not that big of a deal, but, you know, whatever. So we filed a claim and all that stuff, and, like, he's been driving my car since then. We have 4 cars now. He's been driving my new one because Barb, my old car, doesn't work anymore, and his old car makes a noise, and we haven't been able to sell them because of everything that's been going on. So anyway, he got in an accident, so that kind of kicked off this, like, trail of events. And if y'all know me, that's how it always goes with me and, like, us. So driving my car, blah blah blah. That was Thursday, so we drove my car Friday morning. We woke up to, we just hear this drip, 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 and we're like, where the fuck is that coming from? Like, what is this? So we go into the laundry room, which is also the mud room, and there's water all in the floor, and it's very slow, and we're like, what the hell? So turns out our water heater was out, and it was leaking. So the landlord comes over. No, we tried calling him all day long. He was like, oh yeah, the plumber will come. We have a plumber, or handyman / plumber, that comes and takes care of the house. He's like, Frank will be there soon. And we were like, okay, we waited all day, still into the night, nothing, no Frank. So finally, the landlord comes over on Saturday, and he's like, I don't want to get into this. He's like, we're gonna have to replace the whole water heater. Well, it's brand new. They just had to replace that like when we, like maybe a year after we moved in. And water heaters, if y'all know, can last a really long time. It's a really good one. It's like a Ream. It's, I mean, they make those to last. He's like, we have to get a new one. I'm like, I really don't think it's the water heater. I think it's the pipe. And he's like, no, it's not, but I'm going to call Frank because I don't want to get into this. I'm going to go get the water heater. We'll meet back. So then Frank shows up and he's like, this gets good. Trust me. And he's like, oh yeah, it's not the water heater. It's your pipe. He's like, so I'm going to go get the parts and I'm going to fix it. I'm like, cool. So later on into the evening, it's fixed, all done, whatever. I go get a massage because my body is like just at this point so tight. And so I go home, I pick up dinner on my way home on Friday, Friday night. And I guess it would have been the next day. No, it was Friday, no, I'm sorry, Friday night still. Anyways, I'm sorry if this is getting confusing. So we're eating dinner and the water heater literally explodes. Like, we hear this bit, like, it was so crazy. The cat gets scared, she runs off, I'm freaking out, I have no idea what just blew up, you know. And so it's the water heater, and the water from the water heater, you know, it's a huge one. It's like one of those like 5 foot like tall ones. Hey, so anyway, it is exploded, and the water's going all over my kitchen, all over my living room, all over everything. We call the landlord, and he's like, well, do you think I need to come over? And we're like, yeah. Like, duh, you do. So anyway, it turns out like there's like a pipe, like a spigot that comes off of it. Somehow it just exploded off. And so there's hot water all over the place. So anyway, turn off the water to there. We got it all cleaned up. He brought a shop vac, and we're like, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. We're still shop vacuuming it all. And I have like 12 beach towels. I had all the beach towels trying to soak this stuff up. It sucked. But we got it taken care of. The next day, Frank came back and he replaced that part. It's been all good since then. And that was Saturday. And then Saturday night, obviously, was the 4th of July. That was really fun. Our neighborhood was going off. Like, it was so cool. There was so many fireworks everywhere. And, like, I don't know. It was really cool. I've never seen it like that since I've lived here. And I've lived here in California for 10 years. Like 12 years off and on, but 10 years straight. And I've never seen it like that. It's so cool. And then Sunday, my daughter talked Travis into getting her a gecko. So we got a new animal. And then happening this week is there has been on my website, my SoCal Natural Health website, I have a chat open. And I have to have the chat open for a couple of like legal reasons, but also it's my business, and if someone needs to get a hold of me and they don't know how, you know, that chat becomes very useful. So a little backstory. So about a year ago, I did a virtual consult with someone who is in the UK, and I didn't suspect anything at the time. I really just thought they genuinely wanted a consultation. Well, it turns out that they really just wanted to talk with Ashley and Brooke. And so they would not stop harassing me on there. So it was like constantly. So, so today, yesterday, oh, my days are running together. I finally turned the chat off, and I had to contact the local authorities to his location, because I have his information because he signed on as a client a year ago. And I mean, just stuff like, I had to look it up like in the Urban Dictionary, but just talking about being a baddie boy and then wanting me to watch him like please himself on his camera. I mean, it was all the time, and I have records of it, and it was just like, I need to talk to Alexis, Texas, and I need you to make that happen. Just harassing. And I asked so many times to fucking stop. But I'm not going to say cuss words on my SoCal Natural Health page. But I'm just like, look, I will contact authorities. I will. And he's not right. Like, he is very, very ill. Very ill. And I feel bad for him, but I just couldn't take it anymore. So I had to contact the, non-emergency, local, whatever. And then I'm pretty sure you know, I'm gonna have to contact the internet police. No, that's not what they're called, but about online harassment and stuff, because it was just like some of the stuff I'm like, what am I reading? What the hell? Like, it was really bad, like really, really bad stuff. Talking about things he wanted to do to someone or things that he wanted like someone else to do to him, and I'm just like, not a lot phases me. But I was a little dumbfounded by that one. So this week has been fun. So that's the latest and greatest from the week. Oh my god, we started a new show called Letterkenny. I don't know if you guys have seen Letterkenny or even heard of Letterkenny, but it's probably the funniest show that we've watched in a long time. It's absolutely ridiculous, but like we seriously need like comic relief and something we can just let our brains melt to, and so we started watching that, and it is so funny. I'm so so happy that we started watching it. But mostly, you know, the days are, oh, was that hair in my wine? Gross. It's just mine, so I'm not gonna sue the restaurant or anything, but that's gross. But yeah, so like I said, we just kind of spend our days trying to get through, you know, working on all kinds of things, and trying to get like a daily routine down, which, I mean, who the fuck has a daily routine anymore? What is a daily routine? It's so weird. And then I was planning on going back to work in August, but that's not looking like it's gonna happen at all, as far as like the kids being back in school. So yeah, looks like I'm homebound for a while. I'm about to just put up my fucking Christmas decorations. Bring in the new year. Put up my Christmas lights. Put my friggin'. Oh, you know what? It's funny. Ironically enough, like, you know, we have those little block countdown things that, like, you know, you'd like 10 days to Christmas or 47 days till your Mother's Day or whatever. Well, I have not changed mine, and I think this is very kind of telling and very interesting, but I have not changed mine since 5 days before New Year's Eve. Because I never was one of those like 2020 is going to be a great year. I don't know. I think I intuitively felt like something was just looming, like with everything that was going on in China and stuff, and I was paying very close attention. Like, very close attention. I was paying attention to everybody. I was paying attention to Trump. I was paying attention to, you know, the people who were warning us. I was paying attention to everything. So I just never changed it. And I don't think I'm going to. I'll just leave it up like that until it actually is 5 days until New Year's. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I fucked it up. Maybe I need to go change that thing so 2020 can actually happen normally. Maybe that's it. I don't know, but something's gotta happen because this is ridiculous. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and I know I need to go change it. That is funny. What if I do? What if I change it and like everyone's just like, oh man, we were kind of wrong, like, you know, it's not as deadly as we thought. It is. I mean, it's as deadly as I think, but they're like, oh, you know, everything is back to normal and there's no racism anymore, and like, everything's fine. I'd be like, man, thanks. Don't tell anybody it was me. I'm just kidding. I should probably do like, that's funny. But yeah, I was looking at that the other day and I was like, interesting. I never really had 2020 vision. I was like, I was oddly suspicious. Not oddly, but I was intuitively suspicious, and I was on this roll. Like, things were so good. I had worked so hard for like 3-4 years to have things be exactly the way they were from like September on of last year until Well, now it's pretty good, but until everything shut down, I worked so fucking hard to get everything aligned in such a way where I could do exactly what I wanted to do and still be financially okay. And it was like Travis and I talked about it to a fault, just like he was like, I'm so, because there were times it was really hard, you know, and we made a lot of sacrifices. I made a lot of sacrifices. I did a lot of things that were very, very, not extreme, but I guess extreme is the only word I can think of, but I knew what I was doing. I was doing things in such a way where everything would kind of fall together. And then a new opportunity opened up, which was going back to set and kind of doing like the social media and stuff like that. That was just like a fun thing. That was just a hobby. That was just getting me a little bit extra money and get me out of the house, and you know, kind of taking my mind off of being alone in the home for the first time in 10 years or however long it had been. So, and so, yeah, and then we were just like, yes, you know, we were able to do all these things now. And Travis was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that he's like, it was really hard to trust some of the decisions that you were making, but you did it, and here we are, and all this stuff, and we're about to get both of us got two brand new cars at the same time. And then everything shuts down, and that's exactly the way the cookie crumbles in my world. But that's okay. We're good. We're healthy. We even got COVID. What the hell? Like, that's the way it goes. So, yeah. But anyways, you guys, I've been rambling at you for 27 minutes. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for coming. I got a potty per usual. I know you die to hear that after every time. But it really is such a pleasure to do these every night. I think I ramble because I get so excited about doing these, and I really love doing them. So even if I don't post early in the day that there's going to be a live hang, you can always expect one on Tuesday nights. Excuse me. The only thing, like if there's not going to be one, I will say it as early as I possibly can. But otherwise, just be on the lookout for a link. We'll start every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, as close to that as we can. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you tremendously and endlessly. And yeah, look forward to more, and I will see you guys super soon. Good night. Oh.